Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is a video in my Did I Nail It series where I take polishes from my collection that I already own and see if I can use them to layer, combine in other ways as a way to try to dupe newer nail polishes that are coming out, particularly those that are in limited edition collections where there can often be this increased sense of fear of missing out if you don't happen to get it right then when it's on sale. For today, I'm looking at some polishes from Polish Pickup for October. For this month of October, the items are going to be available on sale between October 3rd and 6th. And so what I always do is go through the website, figure out which polishes and other items I want to put on my wish list. Then I take a moment to think about it and figure out, do I really need to buy something new if it may be pretty close to something I already own? And so as you're watching this, I encourage you to, take a look at your wish list, see which ones may stand out to you as ones that you absolutely do feel that you need, and others that you might be able to replicate and you don't necessarily need to buy for now. So with that being said, let's get into the first one. The first one that I have for this month is from Polish for Days. It's called Illusion of Death, and it's described as being a blackened navy base with green, blue, and gold shifting iridescent flakes and black flakes for added depth. Now, this is a polish that really stood out to me because dark nail polishes, like dark, moody, vampy, that is like my comfort space. That is my palette cleanser. That is just whenever I don't know what kind of nail polish I'm in the mood for putting on. If it's dark, if it's glittery, that's not a word. If it's sparkly, there we go. That is me. And I looked at this one and thought, okay, I'm pretty sure I've got one in my collection that if it's not already exactly that, it's probably pretty close. And that one is KB Shimmer's Spell Check. And you can see that it has very similar dark and blue navy base. We got some green, definitely blue flakes in there. And I really love this one a lot. Now, as I've prepared a few swatches of it here, I've put it on 3 different swatches because I want to try a few different things. And I've also put this over a black cream polish to give it a little bit more opacity. That tends to be what I do when I wear this one. So all of these right here are 1 coat of a black cream polish followed by 2 coats of the KB Shimmer Spell Check. So I'm going to put this one over to the side for now and explain my thought process for this experiment here. The one on the left is going to be our control swatch that we're going to use for some base comparison there. And then I've got these 2 that I'm going to try 2 different things with. The first one is one that I would consider to be almost like it has the same very similar vibe to Spell Check, also from KB Shimmer. This one's called How Noble. This one does lean a little bit more towards the green side. So my thought process for this was, what if I started with the same kind of starting point that I usually do for Spell Check, but then I put 1 coat of How Noble over it? Will that be enough to give me that missing, maybe a little bit more of the gold that is present in Illusion of Death? Or maybe what might happen is that will it end up pushing it too far green? Let's see. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's actually a very close output to what I was anticipating would happen here. Like, adding 1 coat of How Noble over the Spell Check does give it more of that green that's there. It's kind of like if you wanted spell check, but you felt like, I just want a little bit more green. I want it to be maybe a more even balance between the amount of blue and green, and not just like mainly blue, but featuring green. That's pretty good there. Okay, I like that. The other one that I've pulled out to try is Rogue Lacquers Emerald Owl, and this is a green flaky topper. And I will say, having just used this in another video like a few days ago, I remember how the way that this one can behave is that sometimes when you do a swipe with it, you get just a few green flakes. Other times, depending on how many you pull out of here, it can be very green. So I have no idea which way we're gonna lean on this, but let's see. Okay. See, this is an example of what I mean about how, in this case, it was just, it wasn't like overwhelmingly green. And that's actually a good thing, that this is what I wanted to get here. Okay, so, I mean, from here, these two, I would say, look close enough to each other to where they seem very indistinguishable, at least indoors, from one another. That might change when I get outside. It's always interesting to see what kind of difference the sunlight will bring there. Now, to the bigger question of did I nail it in terms of being able to try to find a dupe for Illusion of Death. I think that, yeah, this, even though I know the description of Illusion of Death says that there is also like gold shifting iridescent flakes, I don't think that I really need the gold in here so much to where I'm like, there's no gold, I must therefore buy another polish that has the gold in it. If I want, I could just try to put a gold topper over this and see what that would do, but honestly at this point I'm pretty happy with this. So my verdict is that I'm still very happy with spell check where we started here, just as it is, but it is good to know now that if there's ever a time where maybe I'm wearing an outfit that is a little bit more equally distributed between having hints of blue and green together, that bringing in Howl Noble or Emerald Owl could give me that different result that I'm looking for there. So in this case, again, I really do think that Polish for Days Illusion of Death, it's a gorgeous polish, but I do not need to purchase it. I'm happy with this. So let's go on to the next one. The next polish that's on my wish list for this month is from Kathleen Co. It is called Zig Zag Daze. And this one, it's, for the description, it says, this polish starts with a red jelly base loaded with purple red shimmer and a smattering of fuchsia hollow micro glitters that dance across the nail, playing tricks on your eyes. I also like the note saying this polish dries smooth, so no need for a glitter smoothing top coat. Okay, now I know that I just said a few minutes ago that dark, vampy nail polishes are my comfort zone, and they are, but I also have a thing for bright pink nail polish. That is another thing that I already have enough bright pink nail polishes in my collection, but yet when there are newer ones that come out, I see it and I think, oh, but it's this one's different. It's totally different, right? Like I need that one. So this is my way of pulling out some of those bright pink nail polishes from my collection to see, do I in fact need to add Zig Zag Daze into that? Now to start off, as I often do with these swatches, I start with the cream on the base just to help better build up the opacity of certain polishes. But in addition to that, I've noticed sometimes with certain polishes, I intentionally choose to use a certain color cream base underneath because of how that cream base color can help to shift the shimmer polish that I put on top of it in a different direction that is more preferable for me. So for example, just the other day I was wearing, I pulled out this one here, Polish for Days, What Was I Made For, and to wear it, and I just did not really like how this color read on against my skin out of the bottle. But then I put it on top of like a dark purple magenta berry cream like this, and it totally shifted it, and I'm like, I love this polish all over again. So just adding that as a tip, by the way, if there are some polishes that you're like, especially shimmers, you look at them and you think, oh, it's almost where I want it to be color wise, try to put it over a different like a very close but different color cream base, and you might be surprised with how it turns out. So the cream base I'm starting with today is Essie's. Nailed it. This was not intentional, by the way. I know this video series is called Did I Nail It? And I pulled out Nailed It, but like it's just fun. It's a happy coincidence. Starting here, and then the first one I'm going to put over this is Great Lakes Lacquer, The Last Hugs. And I'm gonna see how this goes. Now, the Zig Zag Daze, it says it has like a red jelly base. And you know, and I'm sure it does. I just didn't want to start with like red to try to get there, but we'll see if my guess for this is correct. So let's go ahead. Okay. Oh. Got it. Okay. This one, it's been a while since I've used this one, and I might need to add some thinner to the bottle. That's why I was taking a bit to like, I was actually feeling some resistance as I was trying to like, trying to paint that there. So that's just why I had that reaction first. Now that it's on there, I like this. I might actually build this up in 2 coats of the Great Lakes Lacquer, just so that I can get more of the pink shimmer coming through there. But I do like the direction this is going in. Okay, I also next gonna compare Polish for Days. Again, this is called What Was I Made For, from like inspired by Barbie. Okay. I did not realize just how similar these two were. I mean, obviously they're both pink shimmers, but like, it's very interesting when you put them side by side and you're just like, yep, these two are very close together in terms of color, which is not the point here, but the point is, how do these so far compare to Zig Zag Daze? I think, like, yeah, it's very close for me. You know, whenever you look at the product listings, you know, you compare against different photos in the listing, and sometimes the way that a polish can appear in the product listing can vary because of things like the lighting, the shadows, any other settings that the swatcher has used. So it can really depend, but I do see a lot of consistency in the ones for Zig Zag Daze. A lot of them are looking very similar to what I've got here. So I'm gonna go through and do what I mentioned of adding a second coat of each of these to see if that, yeah, okay. So I've only put the second coat so far on the left side of this. So if you can kind of, let me move this out of the background here to make it easier. So if you can already see the difference between how much more pink I'm getting on the left side of this one compared to the right, that still has a bit more of the berry coming through. That is why I'm glad that I'm building this up into, okay, yeah. And as I'm building this, both of these up in 2 coats, this is definitely, reiterating to me that yes, pink shimmer polishes are gorgeous, and the fact that I already have not just 1 but 2 of these in my collection And this is where I should also admit that when I bought this What Was I Made For, I loved it so much that I even bought a backup of it. So technically I have at least 3 of these here in my house that I know of. I say that because I might have another pink one that's close to it. So yeah, so I'm feeling really good about this where we are right now. As this is drying, I'm just going to pull out the last piece of this particular experiment, which is going to be a reflective glitter topper from Cirque Colors. This one is called Sparkling Blush. In my experience, this is a gorgeous, lovely topper that works particularly well over similarly colored polishes. So with this being like a light purple, not lavender, more on the magenta, pastel magenta side, putting this over something that's either purple or pink tends to work really well. Now, looking at the description of Zig Zag Daze, I do realize it says fuchsia hollow micro glitters, and these, what I've got here is more of a reflective glitter and not a hollow glitter, but I'm okay, I think, with it being just a different type of glitter. I just like sparkle. So let's see how this looks over the Great Lakes lacquer polish. Ooh. Yeah, okay. That is great. I know that it's only looking silver here, but what this does, and why I love this topper, is that it does such a great job of like blending in and giving just a gorgeous sparkle. I mean, I feel like when I've done this before with a silver reflective glitter topper, the silver stood out too much to where you could see like more of the like dark gray that was in it. But here, I think because this is more of a pink reflective glitter, that helps it to blend in where it needs to blend in, but still give you that sparkly silver effect that you're going for. So let me put this on here as well for the What Was I Made For. Yeah, okay. This is I love both of these. Honestly, at this point, like if I were to just show this to someone like my husband and say, hey, what do you think of these? He would probably say that he would think that these were the exact same polish if I didn't tell him that they were 2 entirely different ones that I put on there. So with that being said, did I nail it? In this case, yes. I think that I got very close to what's going on in Zig Zag Daze. I've got the beautiful pink shimmer that's going on, and because of my reflective glitter topper that I added on, I've got that nice sparkle as well. So I really love this combination here. I will definitely be wearing this sometime, and I feel good about removing Zig Zag Daze from my wish list. On to the next one. The next polish that's on my wish list for this month is Scarlet Witch by BCB Lacquers. The description says, well, first, this is a thermal, and I'm not going to be trying to recreate it as a thermal, but okay, so the polish itself is a thermal, and it is red in the cold state to purple in the warm state with red, orange, gold glass flakes. Now, this one stood out to me because of mainly the cold state that I like. The purple state is one, the purple warm in Scarlet Witch I'm not as drawn to for myself, but I want to test this out either way. And I think that one of my personal rules for buying a thermal nail polish is, do I like it in both states? Not just for the possibility that the thermal polish might expire, before I'm able to use the bottle. And by that I mean like that it no longer is able to fully transition from one state to the next, and it may settle in one of the two states permanently from that point. But more so, sometimes I just don't have control over my body temperature. I tend to be very cold all the time, like I'm always wrapped up in a Snuggie or something. So there's a number of reasons why, but that I tend to be tentative when it comes to thermals. But with all that being said, my plan for this is to try to duke this out in both the cold state for the red and the purple for the warm. Now these are two polishes that I've swatched out in 3 coats each, just as they are from their bottles. The red one is Gin and Berries Q No Who. This is a lovely red. I think there might be some orange and gold flakies in here too. Lovely polish. And also from the purple side, one of my favorite purples, this is Alchemy Lacquers Calaveritas, which I believe means skulls in Spanish, and I just love the two of them. Now I'm looking at these, and while the colors that we've got here are somewhat close to what I'm seeing in Scarlet Witch, I feel that I could do something to push them a little bit closer there. For the red, I'm looking at the pictures of Scarlet Witch and seeing how the red tends to have like a slightly more, a deeper red violet appearance to it, and also have this more encapsulated look that happens when you put a jelly polish on top of something. So basically what I'm gonna do here is see what happens when I take a dark red violet-ish jelly polish, Emily DeMolly's Sheer Tint Mulberry, and just swatch that over Q No Who and see if I like it or not. Okay, so Sheer Tint Mulberry over Q No Who. And you know, if jelly polishes, especially if it's the case that you're putting it on top of a color that is very close to it, you're not necessarily going to see a profound difference to it. But in this case, I mean, yeah, I think I can see a little bit of a difference. And like I said, that how adding a jelly on top of another polish, that especially with flakes, it'll like smooth it out a bit. It'll give it this like more tied together look. I like this. I mean, probably the next time I wear Q No Who myself, I would consider putting this sheer mulberry tint on top of it and see if there's a difference. And as always, it even if it doesn't look any different to me here indoors, that could very well change when I take this outside and see how it looks in the sunlight. Going on to my purple one, which I have here as Calaveritas, that I am trying to mimic the purple warm state of Scarlet Witch. Okay, we've reached the point of this video where this may or may not work. This is by far this is not at all the most unhinged thing I've ever done in one of my videos, but this is a bit of a stretch. This right here is ILMP's High Voltage, which is a holographic purple polish that I believe has a jelly base to it. Now I pulled this out because I don't unfortunately have just a plain purple jelly in my collection, so I thought, well, High Voltage has that in it. I mean, it's got hollow too, but I just want to see what happens if I put it on top of that. And who knows, I may end up liking this result. We'll see. Okay. Oh wait, that's cute. What? No. Y'all, look at that. What? That is nice. Okay, why have I never thought to do this before? Because like, okay, let me put that down real quick. If you take a look in the bottles, obviously they're both purple, right? And they're not necessarily the same shade of purple. I think that what helps is that they do have a slight pink glow in them, but if I take out the brush here, well, I can have to compare it here. I feel like on the brush, you see more of that purple resemblance than you do in the bottle. And so I think having this similarity here is actually a really good thing for combining these, because it's a nice way to bump up Calaveritas a bit and give it a little bit more sparkle. Okay, but now going back to, did I nail it in terms of matching this to Scarlet Witch? Like I said, this is neither of these are thermal, so it was never going to be an exact dupe that way. But in terms of asking myself, do I need Scarlet Witch or not? Even just considering, even stepping away from what I said about my thoughts on thermal polishes and just, do I need these colors? This is one that I will say, it falls into the category of, I absolutely love the color. I love what the maker has done here, and especially making it tied into the inspiration of Wanda from the Marvel universe. But in terms of myself, and knowing that I already have this great combination of red here, I also have this great combination of purple here in my collection, these two are enough for me. I don't think I would personally get a lot of use out of Scarlet Witch, so I'm going to remove it from my wish list. But I love both of these combinations and can't wait to see what they look like outside. The next polish on my wish list is the dress from Cupcake Polish. This one is described as a black polish with royal blue magnetic pigment. And I love it. It also says it was inspired by the dress. I don't know why I just did air quotes when y'all cannot see air quotes. Anyway, there was a viral moment in 2015 where the entire internet was divided on whether the dress was black and blue or gold and white. The dress was really black and blue, but due to an optical illusion, some of us swore it was gold and white. I love that additional context there. And a quick fun story is that back when the dress moment happened in 2015, I had been on a cruise vacation for I think that 5 days, and I didn't get the internet package. I didn't connect my phone to Wi-Fi or anything, so I was completely off the grid for 5 days. I come back, turn my phone on, and suddenly I'm just getting caught up like, what is everyone talking about? So that was a fun memory to relive. Now, getting back to this polish, it's a black polish with royal blue magnetic pigment. And so for this, I've swatched out 2 nails here with a black cream, and then put on top of the left one, Fancy Gloss Indigo Magnetic Top Coat, and on the right, Fancy Gloss Light Blue Magnetic Top Coat. What I'm seeing in the pictures feels like it's a blue that would be somewhere in the middle of these 2 colors, because indigo is going a little bit more on the purple side. This one on the right, the light blue, is, well, it is more light blue. So my vision would be if I could get something that was more in the middle of them. So here's what I'm gonna do. I have, as the control swatch on the left, I've put the indigo magnetic top coat, and now my theory is going to be, what would happen if I put a coat of the indigo magnetic top coat over the light blue? I would love it if this turned out to be that it somehow magically gets us to that exact shade of blue that's in the dress nail polish. But I honestly have no idea. I mean, I've layered magnetics before, but not for the purpose of trying to get to a specific hue. So I really don't know what's going to happen here, but let's see. I'm going to try to magnetize this at the exact same line that I did so that we can see. Okay, just going to hover that over there. While this is going, I I can sort of see what's happening underneath. So far, it doesn't look like much is happening, but did that do anything? Oh, it kind of did. Okay. So, what I need to do also is have a light blue comparison here to show there. So I'm gonna pause the video, go off camera, and do that and come back so that then we can have the indigo on the left, the light blue magnetic on the right, and then we're gonna have our result here. Be right back. I'm back, and I am very, very surprised in a good way by the results of this. And once again, I'm not sure if this is gonna show up properly with indoor lighting, but I'm really hoping that outside you all will be able to see that there is a clear difference between the different shades of blue that we have here. I am shocked. I mean, you look at the light blue magnetic top coat and it almost can look like a turquoise, like a teal. And again, you've got the indigo on the left that has some shades of purple. Now, what we've got in the middle as a result of me putting the indigo on top of the light blue does appear to be a more pure blue magnetic top color. Now, is it the same shade of blue that is in the Cupcake polish, the dress? No, I don't think it is. This is what I would describe as being more of a, looks like a cornflower blue to me. And as I'm looking at this, I really, as much as I have loved using my Fancy Gloss light blue magnetic top coat, I feel like when I say the words light blue and what I'm looking for is light blue, that is more of what I'm getting as this combination here. So that is amazing. However, knowing how long it can take just already to work with magnetic nail polish and to magnetize each coat, is it likely that I would ever want to sit down and for all of my fingers magnetize 2 different magnetic top coats on top of the other? I don't have the time for that. And as much as I love this output here, the color, I don't think that it's one that I would find myself using as a regular combination, mainly for the time factor there. So that brings me back to the question of, did I nail it? Almost, kinda. Like, I think that what I'm looking for now, if I wanted to match the dress in that shade of blue, that would almost now have to be something that is in between these two here. So I feel like we're getting closer, but I just at this point do not have a blue magnetic polish in my collection that matches that exactly. The last polish that I have on my polish pickup wish list for this month is from Cuticula, called Psychedelic Glow. It's described as having a purple jelly base with pink, green, yellow, and lime shifting crystal flakes and black flakes. I saved this one for last because I don't know. I'm feeling a little uncertain about this one, and uncertain in the sense of can I dupe it? But then also, why do I like this one? Well, I know I like it because it's very bright, very colorful. But then, yeah, so the question really is, how often realistically would I actually wear this polish? Is this one that I put on my wish list because I love how it looks, or do I see some actual potential for it with myself? And that's where I think that going through these dupe attempts can help me to be able to more accurately answer that question. And by that I mean, for example, if I'm able to get even somewhat close to it, I can then have a more in-my-face real example of whether or not I would want to wear this and whether or not, therefore, I should buy the one that's on sale. Okay, so for starters, with both of these swatches here, I've started with 2 coats of Lurid Lacquers Indomitable. For the first one on the left, I'm pulling out this one from Fancy Gloss called Halloween Party. It has a combination of green, purple, and orange flakies in there. It is a very fun, very festive Halloween topper. And the only thing that's missing in there, well, I mean, there's no yellow, there's no black, which is why I've got crack polish mascara flakes to follow up on that. But let's see what happens if I put 1 coat of Halloween Party on top of Indomitable. Oh, okay. I don't know what I was expecting. Oh yeah, I do know what I was expecting. Look at me, I'm still like swiping on here and hoping that the more I swipe, the more I'll get it to have the density of the Cuticula. Yeah, no, that wasn't gonna happen. For any of you who've never used a Cuticula polish, that flaky polish from Cuticula, those are flaky bombs. They are jam-packed with flakies. Whereas what I was doing here was more so a flaky topper, which is not a bad thing. It's just a different type of effect that you might go for. So it's the question between, are you looking for something that is a flaky bomb, meaning that when you look at your finger, all that you see are just layers and layers of very densely packed flakes? Or are you hoping to see some of the base color underneath and just have like a sprinkling of flakes on top? Now, I could continue to try to build this one up to have that level of density, but I really don't think that that is something I would ever wear. It just, at that point, I'm just putting so many layers of polish on my nail, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna, do I even want to put the black flaky topper on? I'm just gonna abandon this one for now and go over to my second attempt here. Now, whereas the Fancy Gloss Halloween Party was more of like a flaky topper, if I remember correctly, this one from Emily DeMolly called Half Orange, I believe this one is a little bit more dense, and I hope that when I put Half Orange on top of Indomitable that it will reflect that. It has been a long time since I've worn this Emily DeMolly. I don't even think I've worn it this year, so I can't fully remember how it behaves, but we'll see. Ooh. Oh, wow. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I got so distracted. I totally forgot what I was even trying to do over here. Okay, that is, that's amazing. That is like, it reminds me a lot of the Alchemy Lacquers Calaveritas. Like, this would be Calaveritas magenta cousin, like, because Calaveritas is more of like a true purple. Oh, fuchsia magenta, that's really nice. Now, is it Psychedelic Glow just yet? No, we're not there yet, because this Half Orange was really just bringing in, I would say, definitely the pink flakes. I do see a bit of like gold in here, so that could be where we get the hints of yellow that are present in Psychedelic Glow. So I'm gonna put Half Orange to the side, and making a mental note that even if this dupe attempt does not work out, I need to wear that at some point, because my goodness, that is really nice. The next one that I've pulled in, as I'm like dropping polishes here, is one I've used many times before on this channel. It is from Gin and Berries, called Might Be a Gecko This Size. It has these gorgeous green, shifting, like gold hints of flakes in here as well. So I mean, but like I know the description says that there's green and lime shifting flakes in Psychedelic Glow, but as I'm looking at the pictures, I'm definitely seeing that the pink is more prominent. So I'm wondering what's actually going to happen when I put the green on top of this. Like, will the green take over the pink so much, or will it give a nice complement to it? I don't know. So let's test this out and see what happens. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh no, that did not do what I wanted it to do. What ended up happening there is that I think the dark green jelly base of Might Be a Gecko This Size ended up darkening the part that I loved so much about Half Orange, being that the bright pink that's there. And indeed, the description of Psychedelic Glow does say it's a purple jelly base. It does appear in the swatch photos to be a lighter purple jelly base, whereas now what I've done is shifted this more towards a dark purple. I'm intrigued by this, and I because y'all know that I can never just stop experimenting here. That's totally what this channel is for in many ways. I'm curious now to see for science what would happen if I then went and put another coat of Half Orange on top of what we've just done already. Okay, so what I already have here, to recap, I have 2 coats of Laureate Lacquers Indomitable, followed by 1 coat of Emily DeMolly's Half Orange, then 1 coat of Gin and Berries, Might Be a Gecko This Size, and now I have come up with the idea to put another coat of Half Orange on there. Realistically, I know that most people are not going to routinely want to put 5 coats of polish on a finger, and that's not even including base and top coat, in order to get the result that you want. There are some times I will do that for a very specific and unique looks that I want, but unless it's something that is completely blowing me away, I'm just like, that looks nice, but I just don't have the time or energy for that. So, okay, what do I think is gonna happen here? I guess I'm asking myself 2 questions. What do I think will happen, and what do I want to happen? What I want to happen is that the result of this will magically look like Psychedelic Glow. What I think will happen is that it won't, and that it's just going, I don't know. Let's just see. Okay, there's a lot going on here in this, and not in the good, ooh, fun way. This is where, you know, what's that famous quote by, I think, Coco Chanel, the quote that's about fashion advice that says something to the effect of, before you go out of the house, take off 1 accessory, and the meaning behind that being that sometimes people over accessorize. Yeah, that's this. I mean, it's not the worst combination I've made, and maybe it'll look different in the sunlight. Okay, the longer I look at this, the more it is starting to grow on me. But realistically, would I ever do 5 coats of polish per nail to get this? No. So to answer the question, did I nail it? No. Oh, actually, y'all, the longer I look at this, the more it looks like I almost did. What I'm gonna have to do is take this outside and then see it in the sunlight, and then come back. And since this was my last polish for this video, when I record my closing, I will tell you how that went and give you my final thoughts. One quick thing before I take this outside, so first on the left, I realized that I had forgotten to add in the black flakes from Crack Polish Mascara Flakes. So for the sake of completion, wanted to make sure to do that. And then I also thought, okay, this over here, to recap, was 2 coats of Lurid Lacquers Indomitable, 1 coat of Emily DeMolly Half Orange, 1 coat of Jen & Barry's Might Be a Gecko This Size, 1 coat again of Jen & Barry, no, the Half Orange, and now Mascara Flakes takes it up to 6 coats of polish. So I wanted to see what would happen if I were to do all of this, but remove the 2 coats of Lurid Lacquer Indomitable that I started with, knowing that it would cause it to not have that same strong purple color coming through. But I do think that this is, I'm actually very surprised by how this looks and how it does seem to bear a little bit of a resemblance to the swatch photos of Psychedelic Glow. Now, my questions to myself are, do I need to buy Psychedelic Glow? You know, I don't see myself doing even just 4 coats of this polish for every finger just to get this effect. But I also realize Psychedelic Glow, it's one of those polishes that is, I think it's absolutely lovely and pretty, but I realistically would not wear it that often compared to other polishes in my collection that I do love more. But either way, this has been a very fun experiment, and I'm excited to see how it looks in the sunlight. So, some final thoughts as I wrap up this video. I was very surprised by how well the final attempt to do the last one here on the right turned out. Psychedelic Glow, that one. Also, we're just going to pretend the first one with that Halloween party topper did not happen, but just looking at the third one, I am very happy with how that looks in the sunlight, and I think that it is giving me some ideas for how I could potentially layer Half Orange with some other polishes to mix it up and get some different results. So yeah, with all of this being said, I think that my wish list for this month is cleared. Really, there's nothing that I see that I can't already get very close to with polishes that I already own, especially, let's just look at these pink ones again and that glitter in the sunlight. This type of exercise is always incredibly helpful for me to get more of an appreciation for what I already own, and then save buying new things for those that add something new that I don't already have. So I hope that this video was helpful and fun for y'all to watch. Please share, comment, let me know what's on your polish pickup wish list for this month. And thank you again so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.